So what do we have here? Today we've got a 1986 Japanese E-Series Squier Telecaster. So what the heck does that mean? Squier was started by a guy named Jerome Squier in the 1800s, early 1800s in Boston. He was manufacturing violins. He passed the business on to his son, but his son really was not a violin maker, so he took a different tack in business. He went off to Michigan and started a company making violin strings. Well, his company became wildly successful, and Squier strings pretty much dominated the market. And in fact, in the 1930s, Squier was the first company to make specifically electric guitar strings, or strings made specifically for electric guitars. So let's fast forward a little bit. In the 1950s, when Fender was making guitars, they used Squier strings exclusively. And fast forward again to about 1965, and Fender bought the Squier company. So they retired the Squier brand name at that time and relabeled the strings as Fender strings. So let's fast forward a little bit more to the late 70s, when Fender was on the ropes. They were struggling financially. Their quality was in the toilet, and they weren't doing very well at all. So Japanese manufacturers were making tons of guitars, and they were blatantly copying Gibsons and Fenders and sending them into the United States for a fraction of the price at much higher quality than was being made in the U.S. So Gibson took the tact of suing everybody, trying to keep them from copying their designs. Fender took an opposite approach. Fender went to Japan and made a deal with the Fujigen Gaki, which is Fujigen guitar plant, and had them build Fenders under license so that they could sell them in the Japanese and the European markets. So they started importing the guitars into the United States as the Squier brand name, thinking, hey, it was a budget guitar, right? Because they had them produced at a much lower cost than they could be done in the United States, and the quality was much better. So the Squier guitars were the student model, right? The budget model. And meanwhile, Fender, or CBS, finally sold Fender. They got out of Fender in 1984, and they sold it to a Fender management group. And the management group was able to buy everything Fender except for the manufacturing plant itself. So they had to shut down production in the United States in order to build a new plant. And while they were shut down in 84 and early 85, they started importing all their guitars from the Fujigen plant in Japan and relabeling them the Fender instead of Squier. So the guitars that were coming were exactly the same, whether it said Squier on it or said Fender on it, really didn't matter. They came out of the same line, the same quality, everything was the same about them. So meanwhile, 85 came, and they were able to finally get the new Fender plant up and running, and they were building all the Fenders in the United States, and they were relabeling again all the incoming Fujigen guitars as Squier, as budget guitars. So that's what we have here. That's an 86 Fujigen built E-Series. The E-Series means that it was made at the Fujigen plant. And the guitars are just supremely high quality. In fact, it's kind of funny that the early 80s Japanese Fender branded guitars have command really, really big dollars on the collector market. But the same guitar with a Squier sticker on it is like a fraction of the price. So even though these are climbing because people are finally figuring out what they are and what the quality is, it's not a cheap Telecaster even on the collector market, but it's the Fenders are way more, which is just kind of funny to me. But anyway, so let's talk about this one here. So I don't know, many years ago, my wife had a coworker who tried to learn how to play guitar, wasn't into it, so he was selling off all his gear. So I made him an offer on everything. I ended up buying 2 amplifiers, 2 electric guitars, and an acoustic guitar, all for, I don't know, not a whole lot of money. I got a pretty good deal on it. And one of those guitars was this particular Telecaster. And I'm not a Fender guy, you know. I'm not a big Telecaster or Stratocaster guy. It's just they don't really speak to me all that much. But this guitar is a hell of a nice guitar. It's really well built. It stays in tune exceptionally well for a Fender, and it sounds great, you know, and it plays really well. It's very stable. So I mean, I have nothing negative to say about this guitar at all. The only thing that I did was when I bought the guitar, the bridge pickup was, or I'm sorry, the neck pickup was bad. So I replaced the neck pickup with a Fender Vintage Noiseless, and I think I screwed up and wired it out of phase, so the middle position is really quacky on this guitar. So we play that as opposed to the neck pickup. And we bring in the bridge pickup. But it's a nice sounding guitar. It plays really well, and I've had it now for probably, I don't know, 25 years about, roughly. And again, good guitar. 1986 E-Series Squier Telecaster from Japan. So let's play a little bit. You can get an idea. I'll play the neck pickup. I'm playing the bridge pickup. Can't quite get that Albert Collins thing going on, but I'm trying, you know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is my 1986 Squier E-Series Telecaster guitar. Thanks.